A 95-year-old grandfather went viral. His secret is surprisingly simple. A 95-year-old grandfather in Canada recently captured the attention of people around the world. Not because he broke a record, not because he ran a marathon, and not because he followed some complicated anti-aging routine. He simply wanted to show his granddaughter something he does every day. In the video, the man, affectionately known as Nonno, stands beside a resistance band attached to a support. Then he begins to exercise, slowly, steadily, one movement at a time. His granddaughter watches and encourages him as he proudly demonstrates his routine. There is nothing dramatic about it. No expensive equipment, no crowded gym, no personal trainer shouting instructions. Just a 95-year-old man, a resistance band, and a habit he has apparently made part of his daily life. And perhaps that simplicity is exactly why so many people stop to watch. Because when we see someone at 95 still standing tall, still moving, and still excited to show his granddaughter what he can do, we cannot help but wonder, what has he understood that the rest of us sometimes forget? Bright golden years life. After 60 Today's conversation, a 95-year-old grandfather went viral. His secret is surprisingly simple. There is something deeply touching about watching an older person remain strong. Not strong in the way we usually imagine strength. Not lifting enormous weights. Not competing. Not trying to prove anything. But strong enough to stand up from a chair without fear. Strong enough to carry groceries into the kitchen. Strong enough to climb a few stairs. Strong enough to open a heavy door. Strong enough to pick up a grandchild. Strong enough to continue doing the ordinary things that make a life feel like our own. Perhaps that is why Nonno's simple video has resonated with so many people. It isn't really about a resistance band. It is about independence. As we grow older, we often hear a great deal about the importance of walking. And walking is wonderful. It keeps us moving, gets us outdoors, and can become one of the most enjoyable habits of the day. But there is another part of healthy aging that doesn't always receive the same attention. Strength. Our muscles quietly help us through almost every moment of the day. We use them when we rise from bed in the morning, when we stand up from the sofa, when we carry a laundry basket, when we reach for something on a shelf, when we get into a car, when we climb a staircase. Most of the time, we don't even think about these movements, until one day something that once felt effortless begins to feel a little harder. Perhaps the grocery bag seems heavier than it used to. Perhaps getting up from a low chair requires a little more effort. Perhaps opening a stubborn jar suddenly becomes a two-person job. These moments can seem small, but they remind us of something important. Strength isn't only something athletes need. Strength is part of everyday freedom. Researchers have known for years that our muscles change as we age. Muscle mass and physical power tend to decline over time, particularly in later life. But growing older does not mean we simply have to stop challenging our muscles. Research supported by the National Institute on Aging has found that strength training can help older adults maintain muscle mass, mobility, and the physical abilities that support independent living. And strength training doesn't necessarily mean walking into a gym and lifting heavy barbells. Resistance can come in many forms. A resistance band, light weights, body weight movements. Even certain everyday activities can ask our muscles to work a little harder. The goal isn't to become the strongest person in the room. The goal is much more personal, to remain strong enough for your life. Think about that for a moment. What would you like to still be able to do 5 years from now? Maybe you want to continue tending your garden. Maybe you want to carry your own suitcase through an airport. Maybe you want to climb the steps to your favorite restaurant. Maybe you want to get down on the floor to play with your grandchildren, and perhaps more importantly, get back up again. Maybe you simply want to carry your own groceries through the front door. These aren't athletic achievements. They are pieces of independence. And sometimes we don't fully appreciate them until they become difficult. That is what makes the story of a 95-year-old man with a resistance band so powerful. We don't know every detail of Nonno's health. We don't know everything he has eaten throughout his life. We don't know his genetics, his medical history, or all the other habits that may have shaped his journey to 95. So it would be wrong to look at one short video and say, we have discovered his secret to longevity. Life is far more complicated than that. But perhaps his story offers us something more useful than a secret. It offers us a reminder. The body we have tomorrow is influenced, at least in part, by how we care for the body we have today. And small habits have a remarkable way of becoming years. 5 minutes doesn't seem like much. One walk doesn't seem like much. A few gentle movements don't seem like much. But repeated over months and years, small actions become part of the rhythm of a life. Maybe that is what people really saw when they watched Nonno. Consistency. There is a tendency in our culture to make healthy living seem complicated. We hear about new diets, new supplements, new machines, new fitness programs, new secrets to longevity. Every few weeks, it seems there's another promise about how to live longer or feel younger. But some of the most valuable habits are often surprisingly ordinary. Move your body. Use your muscles. Eat nourishing food. Rest. Stay connected to people. Keep learning. Keep participating in life. None of these ideas are particularly glamorous. Perhaps that is why we sometimes overlook them. But ordinary things repeated consistently can become extraordinary over a lifetime. There is another reason strength matters as we grow older. It can give us confidence. Imagine walking up a staircase and trusting your legs. Imagine carrying something and trusting your arms. Imagine getting out of a chair and knowing your body will respond. That confidence changes the way we move through the world. It can make the difference between saying, I don't think I can do that anymore, and saying, let me try. And perhaps those 3 words matter more than we realize. Let me try. They keep doors open. Of course, every person ages differently. A 60-year-old body is not the same as an 80-year-old body. One person's abilities may be very different from another's. Some people live with arthritis. Others have heart conditions, balance difficulties, injuries, or limitations that change what kind of activity is appropriate. There is no single exercise routine that is right for everyone. And beginning a new exercise program, especially if you have health concerns or have been inactive for a long time, may be something to discuss with a qualified healthcare professional. But the larger idea remains beautifully simple. Do what you can. Start where you are. And don't underestimate the value of continuing to move. The CDC's current guidance for adults, and 65 and older, includes not only aerobic activity but also muscle strengthening and balance activities. That tells us something important. Healthy aging isn't only about how far we can walk. It is also about maintaining the strength and stability that allow us to keep living independently. Perhaps the most inspiring thing about Nonno's video isn't the exercise itself. It is the expression on his face. He seems proud to show his granddaughter what he can still do. There is joy in that moment. A grandfather, a granddaughter, a simple resistance band, And somewhere behind that small scene is a much bigger idea. At 95, he is still participating, still demonstrating, still sharing, still moving. Maybe that is why thousands of strangers found themselves smiling as they watched. Because when we see someone doing well at 95, we aren't only looking at them. In some quiet way, we are looking at our own future. We are asking ourselves what we hope our lives might look like if we are fortunate enough to reach that age. And perhaps most of us would give a similar answer. We would like to still recognize the people we love. We would like to laugh. We would like to move. We would like to make our own choices. We would like to remain part of the world around us. We would like to still have something we are proud to show our grandchildren. That is a beautiful goal, and it doesn't begin at 95. It begins wherever we are today, at 60, at 65, at 72, at 81, or even at 95. We cannot control everything about growing older, but perhaps we can continue giving our future selves small gifts, a little more movement, a little more strength, a little more attention to the body that has carried us this far, not because we are afraid of aging, but because there are still places we want these legs to take us. There are still people we want these arms to hold. There are still doors we want to open for ourselves. And there are still ordinary days ahead that we hope to live on our own terms. Today's gentle challenge is a simple one. Think of one everyday activity you hope to still be doing comfortably 10 years from now. Getting up from your favorite chair, carrying your groceries, walking through an airport, working in your garden, playing with your grandchildren. Then ask yourself a gentle question. What small thing could I do today to help my future self keep doing that? It doesn't have to be impressive. It doesn't have to go viral. And it certainly doesn't have to look like anyone else's routine. Sometimes the strongest habits begin quietly. If Nono's story made you smile, we'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you hope to still be doing when you're 80, 90, or perhaps even 95? Share it in the comments below. Your answer might inspire someone else to think differently about what growing older can look like. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might enjoy meeting a 95-year-old grandfather who reminded the internet of something beautifully simple. Sometimes staying strong isn't about doing something extraordinary. It's about continuing to do the ordinary things, one day at a time. Thank you for spending these moments with us. Take gentle care of yourself. Keep moving in whatever way feels right for you. And never underestimate what a small habit today might mean for the person you become tomorrow. I'll see you in our next conversation.